Welcome to my weekly spiel. Welcome to my weekly spiel. Yada yada blah blah blah. Yada yada blah blah blah. It's time for Margaret's weekly spiel. Greetings and salutations. This is Margaret Franklin of Margaret Franklin Creations. And I'd like to say a very special hello to the people in my neighborhood because I'm going to go out on a limb this week, get a little out of my comfort zone, and post this link on Nextdoor Vanier or Nextdoor Digest or whatever they call this group that I've become involved with quite recently. And I'm very happy to be a part of this group. And I have my Facebook page, the new Margaret Franklin Creations, not to be confused with my old one, which I don't use because I was hacked years ago. But the new Margaret Franklin Creations. Remember that. Oh, I had to do 2 takes before I did this one because for some reason, the second time when I was singing my theme song, I kept saying "Weeply Spiel" the second time. Maybe it's a Freudian slip because lately a lot of us feel like weeping. I guess because of the pandemic, we're sick of being cooped up. We don't know when this lockdown is going to end. You folks have my deepest sympathy. Fortunately, you can still buy stuff online, and Mosaic Creative is still open, so you're welcome to go there to buy some really cool things for Easter. As you can see, I am working on a new bunch of unicorns. I was hoping I would have at least 1 or 2 of these stuffed and finished by then, like these are just empty skins, and I embroider the spirals on the horns before I stuff them. It's easier that way. I thought I was finished, but I still have 5, these ones with the green horns and these red ones with sort of a funky retro print. These ones and these ones are from some wonderful batik fabric that I won back in December when our guest speaker offered a prize for whoever's birthday was closest to hers. Hers was the 25th, and we had 2 of us on the 28th, so each of us won 3 pieces of batik fabric. You can usually get 2 unicorns out of a fat quarter if you make the underside out of a different fabric. Sometimes you can get 2 whole ones out. Who knows? I had enough of this fabric. If I hadn't made myself a pandemic mask, I would have had enough to make 3 whole unicorns out of this. As it is, I got 2 with matching undersides and 1 with white satin. And I have these 4 pastel unicorns. Each one has a different mane. Well, there's 2 blue manes. But they'll all be one of a kind, because even the ones whose manes match will probably have different colored eyes. And we have 3 of this fabric with the butterflies. All these bright, cheery pastels in time for Easter. Maybe a few Valentine ones, who knows. Because there are Valentine's unicorns at Mosaic Creative if they haven't sold out already. I think this fabric was with the Valentines. These guys are one of a kind. What's that song I made up this morning? One of a kind unicorns. That's all there is, 'cause there ain't no more fabric for anymore. And this fabric with the rainbows. I was really cutting it close because you can see salvage numbers on his little feet there. Makes them even more unique. And then there's this fabric. I've made other stuff out of this. I think it's been on a few doll dresses. And there was just enough of this blue for this one little guy. He's got like little orange flowers here. So I put like light blue and orange on this horn. And a lot of people ask me, or at least Jeanette asked me anyway, because we've been doing a lot of Zoom meetings lately, like with my Quilters Guild and now CMHA. How do you talk to people on Zoom if you don't have a webcam? Because when I'm at the Zoom meetings, I just type in and text. I don't even own any mobile devices. But when I'm doing these videos, like I'm moving you into the bathroom here so I can show you the camera that I use for these videos. It is a Casio XLIM, and I've had this camera for over 10 years. I got it in 2009. My husband got it with his Club Z points at the time. Was it Club Z, or what do they call them, air miles? Just zoom you in here. So I've got a zoom lens. This little camera has served me well over the years. It is purple. That's one of the things that sold me on it. And yes, if you're tuned in for the first time, my hair is blue. At least for the time being anyway. For years it was always purple, and I would say that's my natural color. Well, I was born with boring brown hair, but natural is a relative concept. Purple and blue are what have felt natural to me for the last few years. It's been blue since the pandemic. I feel like I'm not going to go back to purple anytime soon until the pandemic is over and things are back to normal. If they ever get back to normal. That's one of the things that really cheeses me off. Like, this thing, you think it's going to end and it keeps expanding. And the pandemic to me has felt like a black hole that keeps getting bigger while everything we care about crumbles and falls over the edges. Latest big beef that I'm complaining about is the fact that the Carousel Works in Mansfield, Ohio has filed for bankruptcy. So there aren't going to be any more new merry-go-rounds. Yes, those of you joining me for the first time will know that, find out pretty soon that carousels are one of my all-time favorite things. I've been obsessed with them all my life. And I'm just walking around the house talking to you while I do my stuff here. Carousels and Kiss. You might notice I'm wearing my Gene Simmons t-shirt today. The one that I bought on my penultimate Niagara trip. Carousels, Kiss, and unicorns. And I've always looked up to Gene Simmons as the quintessential entrepreneur. Like, where does he get all his energy for all his enterprises, for all these things that he promotes? He says, well, he's had hundreds of things, and more ideas fail than don't, but the ones that have succeeded have kept him high on the hog. And I wonder, how do you stay grounded when you've got balls in so many courts? Well, he has snapped a few times. Some people have heard about that time he freaked out at the CNN building and he'd been barred from there. But since then, they've accepted his apologies. And nobody's perfect. Everyone slips up now and then. I can understand and I guess Kiss hasn't been touring because of the pandemic, but they've done a few shows that have been available virtually. I don't turn out for many virtual events. I spend too much time sitting in front of my computer. I'd like to be making things, and I'd like to be out and about selling things. I am hoping that Market Squared comes out this summer, because we didn't have Market Squared last year because of the pandemic. And I'm going to this is a funny story here. I bought a tripod, I think 2 or 3 years ago, and I've never used it. I was going to use it at Jeanette's place. We were going to do a weblog together, or podcast, or whatever you call it, called Drama Goddesses. But the lighting in her place is terrible, and we never did get that off the ground. So I've never used the tripod. I'm just here holding the camera in my hand. You know the expression, talk to the hand. But when I'm not holding it and I want my hands free, I usually hand my camera over to Bobby Orr here. I got all these little guys on top of my computer. There's my Kiss bobbleheads and that wooden artist model. Go figure. About two doors down from us, somebody else in the neighborhood has one of these guys on their windowsill. Anyway, I'm going to hand the camera over to Bobby Orr so I can have my hands free while I talk to you about stuff. Okay, I'll be right back. Why do I need to make more unicorns when I've already got so many? Well, every year, or every year and a half or so, whenever it is, I get this urge to make as many unicorns as possible. A lot of my stuff gets donated to me, so I use up a lot of stuff. But I showed you a bunch. I have all those skims on the table. Here is one of my completed unicorns looks like, if you're joining me for the first time and haven't seen my stuff on Facebook. Coming at you in 3D. This is one of my famous blue unicorns. You might have heard the story before about the blue unicorn pandemic, or blue unicorn campaign. Back in, probably can't hear me over all this rustling. This bag is so big. This is, for a while there, everybody wanted black unicorns. There may be 1 or 2 of those left at Mosaic Creative. And a lot of my unicorns are in a hockey bag in the living room for when I go to Market Square. So you can buy them from me there if we have it this summer, or you can find them at Mosaic Creative. Or if you see anything you like, just flag me down and call dibs. There's this lovely turquoise one. What's he stuffed with? He feels heavy. Maybe he's been eating too many jelly beans. There's this funny thing about this yellow one. I keep thinking I've sold him or given away, but he keeps turning up. But I got so many unicorns, and I like to give them away at Christmas. And this was made from somebody's prom dress. A friend of mine at the living room, she had this prom dress that she tried to sell. Nobody wanted it, so she just gave it to me. And it was pleated. I pressed the fabric. I got all these gorgeous green and yellow iridescent unicorns. Most of them have found new homes. Often at Christmas time, I will take bags of these full at the at toy drives at the Oshawa Center, the hospital. Sometimes my husband's chiropractic office has had toy drives. I missed the one last year. And the bargain store on King Street, I like to pay it forward because a lot of my materials get given to me. I win them in draws, or people just say, oh, I happen to have a stash of fabric, you can have it. I don't want to say no. And a lot of my stuff I am reimbursed by passport funding. So I make not only unicorns, but I also have zebras. Oh, this is a donkey, of course. And here's another blue unicorn. And in this bag I have 2 ladybugs. Oh, I'll be back in just a moment. I want to show you the zebra. Hang on. There's the zebra. I thought he was in the bag, but there was one on the shelf in my bedroom, so these guys are all awaiting new homes. And then I got 24 empty skims on the table waiting to be filled. What did I just drop on the floor? I heard something fall. Oh, it's a button. You see that? I'll probably put it on my hat or something. It's a geometric design. I got a lot of weird random crap on my desk here. Oh. Anyway, I think I have talked too long, so I will call it a George for now. Thanks for watching Weekly Spiel. Bye-bye. Be back soon.